A very good morning to you, Sponga. What's the latest in Durban?
A very good morning to you, Blaine. Of course, as you can see behind me at the hospital, it is a buzz of activity. Children have arrived. They have started painting along with the MEC for Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dlomo, painting their colorful wall, of course, keeping the momentum going on throughout the day because, of course, they are looking forward to many people coming through to donate because they are indeed spending their Mandela Day fundraising for the 6th-tier hospital block that needs to be built to extend and make sure that it accommodates as many children in the province as possible. But of course, there are many questions. You will recall that the hospital was first established in 1931, was closed down in 1984, but then again was reopened. And of course, this particular refurbishment process did start a few years ago, 2012 to be specific. And of course, we're going to talk to the MEC just now, continuing our discussion from earlier on, speaking about the developments from that point, what had seemed to be the delay in terms of making sure that a couple of years on since the official beginning of this refurbishment process, what has been the delay? A very good morning once again, MEC.
Good morning once more, and good morning to SAFM viewers.
Speaking of the developments and the refurbishment of this particular hospital, MEC, we do understand that it's one of a kind. It was the first in the continent, but its refurbishment processes seems to be taking quite a bit of a delay. Hence, we're here today to try and mobilize as many people as we can for donations to refurbish it and make sure that it's completed. What seems to have been the delay for these past years?
Yeah, no, the delay is that it is not just an initiative of government alone. We as government, particularly in health, were approached by some of the philanthropists and people who love everybody in the world to say, can we not resuscitate what was actually unfortunately stopped? And therefore we focus on it as health, but we're calling upon all other corporates in the world. Like today, I've already made a donation because our CEO of this hospital, Dr. Ramkeson, is saying she needs 1 million bricks. So now I have donated some bricks, but I'm going to be calling upon some of the people who have been part of me supporting the building of clinics and hospitals in the province, who have actually benefited here and there, to make some contributions, and all other corporate leaders to make a contribution to realize was, as these children are here, they actually, some of us have been doing testing on them, checking whether they are well, but they are also here to fundraise so that they themselves may not be the only beneficiaries, but somehow we bring this hospital back to its former glory by doing this. So I'm calling upon all South Africans out there to come and bring any donation. I was actually met by a pensioner who says, Dr. Dlomo, I only bought 2 bricks, which is good enough. So there's no contribution, as little as not needed here in terms of making the whole place to come back to its former glory.
We do understand that the province of KwaZulu-Natal is amongst the leading provinces when it comes to the plight of HIV and TB, and a facility like this one makes sure that the children who are victims of such are taken care of. And of course, this should take priority in terms of making sure that it is finished as soon as possible. Is there a particular time frame that we can give to it to make sure that it is finished, the entire 6 tiers of the rainbow are finished at a particular time?
As I'm indicating, we're not only getting all the fiscals from the province to build this hospital. We give a contribution, but part of it is going to be dependent on the corporate support, the donations and the donors can bring here. So it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to give a timeline, but we build this hospital one step at a time, because the other part of this hospital, which has already been built, is functioning well. Here behind us, we want to have an ambitious 8-story building where we'll have all other services in there. But when we are going to get there, it's something that is very difficult to pre-tell. It's going to be actually dependent on as much of the contributions that come from you, come from your support that you're actually giving us now to speak to the South African viewers out there, and other international donors, by the way, who have also contributed to this cause.
This fundraising event is happening on a very special day where the entire country globally, struggle giant Nelson Mandela is being celebrated, because today was, of course, his birthday, and children were quite dear to his heart, and making sure that we keep them safe from suffering, because they are, of course, the future of this nation. Health-wise, what has the department made sure that throughout the province that hospitals take priority when it comes to health care for children?
In fact, you'd actually find that this is the first of its kind where everywhere in the hospitals in the province we are able to treat children. But this one is going to be a special hospital. That is why we call it KZN Children's Hospital. For all children who will actually need specialists in the province, it will be housed here. All the other developmental challenges, all the other neurogenic problems that children have, cerebral palsy, rehabilitative, including what is very dear to me, the palliative care programs will be housed in this province. So we look in this hospital. So we are looking forward to actually do what Baba Nelson Mandela did, to be closer to the children, because they have a longer life to live. So if we give them the strongest and the best foundation, then we are guaranteeing them having a good life. And this is just but one of those. So it's an opportune moment for us to really accelerate campaigns to resuscitate this hospital on the day of Nelson Mandela, on the day where he also had such a big heart for children. And we think, as we speak on this day, many South Africans there who would then support this vision. It was for us, it is embedded on the principles and on the vision and the leadership of Baba Nelson Mandela.
Thank you very much, MEC.
Thank you very much.
That was, of course, MEC for Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dlomo, highlighting that this process will definitely be one brick at a time. We do understand that currently we are at a fundraiser that is also pledging forward that one brick at a time. They need 1 million bricks to ensure that their 6-tier Rainbow Tower is finished so that they can increase capacity and have specializing facilities to make sure that children's health is held at high priority. Of course, we will recall that Dr. Nelson Mandela did emphasize the importance of taking care of children because they are indeed the future of this continent. So one brick at a time, the future of this hospital looks very bright. It's back to studio.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for your time. There's Sibonga Mbata live for us in Durban.